Hey, oh my goodness. It is another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. I cannot believe we are already in June. Golly. And of course, you guys can tell I'm not exactly home. However, I'm around and I'm doing some fun things regarding what? Filming and having a good time with it. My goodness. I am so grateful that you guys are joining me on this evening. This is Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And of course, my boy, Coach Tony, will be here in a few minutes. But right now, I'm going to get started with letting you guys know about some of the things that I have been checking out. And of course, what I've been doing all day. My feet are a little sore, but it is good fun. So, hey, we're going to get started. And I'm telling you guys, it has been a trip. Wow. I can't believe it's June. Half of the year is gone. Here we go. Hey, here we go. Another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. I'm glad you guys are joining me on this evening, and I'm telling you, it has been a phenomenal day. I'm just the first Tuesday of June, and of course, I always want to let you guys know about our affiliate sponsor. It is Key Spot. If you have a small business or a business that needs promotion on an app or in your local town, all over the United States. Cynthia McAllister, she is one of the greatest when it comes to promoting your business to other smaller businesses. And she's a part of KeySpot. Share, connect, and grow by joining them. And of course, if you guys join, you are able to network for free once a month. I think it's the third Thursday of every month. Come join us, and Cynthia will welcome you with open arms like she did myself. So, oh my gosh, such a wonderful time. And then, hey, my goodness, you guys are wondering, where's this book? I'm wondering the same thing too, child. However, I know it's coming. My writing mentor, Monique Lisa Johnson, she's got a lot going on, but this book is coming. I know you guys are wondering where it is, but it is A DJ Saved My Life. It is the personal story of myself and sharing how you guys can start your own podcast. The ABCs of starting your own podcast. And of course, during the pandemic, it was a dark time for me, but a DJ, that's me, saved my life. And I'm so grateful that you guys will get a chance to read this soon. I'll be doing a book cover reveal, and that information will be coming up very shortly as well as it gets closer to the release of the ebook. Because what has held up the ebook is I stated I wanted something hardcore like this, something that you put your hands on instead of just an ebook. So they are working with it and they're doing their thing. And of course, Interludes Extra presents Find Your Voice. We got backstage scenes, what happens with the podcast. And of course, you can join our Patreon community today at patreon.com/interludes. And there you go. Oh my goodness. Well, Coach Tony is on his way to do his thing. And of course, I have to let you guys know that I have to see who is in the building. And of course, Queen Bella is telling me shalom. I feel the peace. I love the peace. I welcome the peace. And of course, thank you so very much, Bella. Thank you so very much for that. And then I always see fire emojis from King Wise. He is in the building. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you so very much. And of course, it is Mr. Springer. He's letting us know and letting all of you guys know, it's Black Music Month. And you know what I also found out, ladies and gentlemen? That it's also National DJ Month. I'm not going to do that. National DJ Month. That got started in 2018. I started doing a little research on it, and it would be phenomenal if the book gets released this month because it'll be celebrating National Black Music Month. You got Juneteenth coming, and then you have National DJ Month because there's a lot of people that are DJs. A DJ saved my life. A DJ's doing its thing. And of course, thank you so very much, Mr. Springer, for putting that in there for Patreons /interludes. Appreciate that as well. Well, I have to let you all know what I've been doing. I have been on a film set. Well, kind of down the street, way down the street. A good friend of the show, as well as a former guest on Interludes, Carla Braithwaite. She is a filmmaker and producer, and also, my goodness, I was on the set going, what is going on? I was enjoying what we were doing, and she wrote a short, I want to say, yeah, short story. And she said, Valerie, I'm going to go ahead and make it into a short film. And I says, well, you know what? I'd love to go ahead and be able to help you. And so what ended up happening is that she brought me on. Well, when you have a small short film short, you pretty much take all the roles that are handed. So I did a couple of things. I was the camera person. And of course, there's the slate right there. That's her name, Carla. And roll one, scene 1A, and take one. And this we were shooting this earlier today. That's her husband, Curtis, holding up things. I want to take a picture of this. And so just kind of making sure that these things happen. But summer is probably the best time to shoot a short. I'm just really excited about that. And of course, one of our actors, Monique, there with Carla's sister-in-law, who was also a costume designer as well as set designer. So she had some things that she was doing, setting up rice and some other things for some of the shots. And so I was just really wonderful. So this is a black camera. That's what it's called, a black camera. And we a lot of this was already set up before I showed up. And of course, we were just kind of, I was telling Carl, I'm going to take some photos of you. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to share it with my audience because I love talking about film shorts and stuff like that. And thank you so very much. Carla was a part of the New York ministry that I was a part of, but she was over in Jersey. But now we're both here in Illinois doing our thing. And she was like, you know what? I got to get my feet wet and doing some shooting and some films. And I was like, let's go. Let's make this happen. Woo-hoo-hoo. And of course, isn't it wonderful when you're married to the help? He's more than a help. That's Curtis. He was holding up the slate again. I said, okay, let me go ahead and make sure I get my name in this. And this was in my way having my name in lights. And so this was here in the living room / dining room / set. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. And so we started. We had a very brilliant Stephanie, who was the script supervisor, always monitoring exactly what scene we were on, what take we were on. I had to erase and kind of rearrange that as well. And of course, I switched off with Carla's husband, Curtis, with sound. So I got the boom mic. It was a whole thing. I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. Oh my gosh. However, it's long hours. Our hours weren't as long as maybe an actual film set. But like I said, I actually got a chance to do this. Check this out. So I'm on the set with Carla, and we're like
having fun. Technical difficulties. This would be a DIT problem on a feature film set. We are not feature film. We are micro budget. And so you got to deal with it yourself.
So, isn't she beautiful? What is she? She's a black, right?
You're so funny.
She's a black camera.
You're just so silly.
She's so beautiful. Yeah, man. The filmmaking bug has sparked again. Your girl has no sense. Your girl has no sense. I'm telling you. Like I said, I had a blast doing my thing, and definitely letting folks know that we just had a blast doing what we did. And of course, shooting this film, having fun doing it. And Carla was just a breeze to work with. And so I'm here. We have another full day of shooting on tomorrow, and I'll be taking more pictures and more films and stuff like that. I see Coach is in the building, so he's going to be making his way on stage pretty soon when he gives me the thumbs up that he's ready to come on. But yeah, I really had fun with that, and so I'm going to be working for an Internet Movie Database credit. So because was I the AD? I was a camera person. So I would be a camera person, listen to the camera person, and then audio. I did some boom miking. And then I don't know exactly what the clapper person does, but that's exciting too. So, oh my gosh. But what I have to talk to you guys about is something that a film or a series that I didn't know that much about, The Chosen. And this past Sunday, I got a chance to watch. Oh, I got a thumbs up from Coach. I got a chance to watch a little bit of it, and I was like, have I ever heard of The Chosen? I had a couple of people tell me about The Chosen, but let me go ahead and bring this up because I'm sitting here like I had never heard of it. But now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the coach, Coach Tony. Oh my goodness. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Look, girl, I'm tired.
Me too. I'm tired too. I've been shooting films. I was just showing people. Oh, let me go ahead and stop this. I was telling people earlier that I had been on a film set all day and my feet hurts. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it's all good. But I thought I would show my fun on the set at first and then talk about how this independent project called The Chosen went ahead and just it's amazing what has happened in the last 3 years with this set. So, oh
That
my goodness.
when you
Yeah.
first said The Chosen, I was thinking, you see, I'm representing this Black Music Month this month. I had to go back in the closet every week this month. I'm out a different representation. Now that to come out NWA. But when you said The Chosen, I thought we meant like The Chosen Few, like the old school BMX Hot Mix 5 or something in the park. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to turn some house music on.
Well, in the audience, if you have seen the series called The Chosen, let me know because I heard about it and I'm a little embarrassed as someone that is Christian who should
Come on,
be checking
man. You're supposed to
things
be on
out.
top of it. You're supposed to be on
I
top of it
know.
like the lottery. You know what I'm saying? You like one of them lottery winners that win a ticket and didn't want to put it in the closet for a year.
I know. But here's some. It's been an independent project for a very, very long time. At one point, they were by Angel Studios, but now, according to Variety.com, uh, The Chosen gets picked up. Season 4 gets picked up by the CW, which is Warner Brothers. I am totally shocked over this. Warner Brothers Television and CBS is going to be picking this up. And they said after the first 3 seasons of this drama, The Chosen, and they made their broadcast debut last year, they said, we're going to go ahead and bring you on. A person that's starring as Jesus, Jonathan Rumi as Jesus, and also Dallas Jenkins serves as the writer, director, and the showrunner. And then, of course, earlier this year, season 4 of The Chosen debuted in theaters. And then now The Chosen is so popular. Two things, Tony. It has an app, and like Comic-Con, it has its own conference. It's called Chosen Con.
Okay.
I'm like, what? So we hype it. We following this like we hyping up Jesus and the disciples, and they got their own conference. What?
Hey, you already know Jesus already turned water into wine. So what you figure?
No, but I have to say Tony, I watched the 4th the opening of the fourth season on Sunday. It was streaming
Hey,
live
what
on
is on
YouTube.
YouTube?
Oh, it premiered on YouTube on Sunday, and they had a whole planned live streaming. Now, at the time when I jumped in at about 6:15, I only missed like 10 or 15 minutes of it. 90,000 people were viewing it at the time. By the time the following day, by the time the following day happened, over 1 million views.
Wow.
Coach, this is I'm so happy Jesus is popular.
Hey, and didn't you say the young man that made the film name is Dallas Green?
No, the person that is the I want to say the writer and director and the showrunner, his name is Dallas Jenkins, and he was the gentleman that literally opened things up for the live stream. And then at the end of the episode, he says, "Well, we've broken with Angel Studios. We're still okay with them, but now we've decided to do something else." And now, because here's the thing, this is the thing. Now, this is the reason why I was mentioning me doing an independent film with my friend Carla versus doing The Chosen. They crowdfunded and went through Angel Studios. Do you know Angel Studios they said pay it forward? They was only giving back to Dallas and the production only 40% of what they were collecting from millions of people that was supporting the show in the first 3 seasons.
First of all, you got a name like Dallas Jenkins. You're supposed to be popular and getting paid. Second of all, you gotta read the fine print, because again, what they probably thought, Val, that they would throw something out there and hopefully it catches on. It's about Jesus, and in this day and time that we're sitting at, everyone is all afraid of having religion in school, talking about this and that in our books and our texts. And he probably thought that, if we get out here and we get 100,000, 200, even 500,000 views, we did okay. We can live with that. He probably didn't expect that someone put a bonfire out in the middle of the woods and then tossed the right amount of gas, and the guy that was smoking a cigar threw the match and it lit it, and boof, now we got a fire. Now he's back popular again, and now he's like, wow, it seemed to be something, but I'm just surprised that you, Mrs. Religion, on top of everything godly, you ain't know about this, because you supposed to been telling me about this weeks ago. I'm supposed to be getting my cleansingness on right now.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. I had people telling me about it. Mr. Springer says, this was him. I caught a few episodes of The Chosen. It is powerful. Mr. Springer, I will have to agree. Now, the great thing is, with me dropping in on the 4th season, because I'm an avid reader of the Bible, I was able to drop in and go, I know exactly where this is. I know exactly what we're talking about. And then toward the end, I got emotional and I was like, John the Baptist, what's about to happen? If you read the Bible, you know what happens with John the Baptist. The thing of it is that the story is told so very well. Bella says that she saw all 3 seasons. And then, of course, thank you so much for putting that in the chat, Mr. Springer. It will be on the CW, which is excellent to hear about that. And of course,
is this the final season, Val? It's like, because Bella just said she saw the first 3, so we're going into the 4th season right now. It looks like it's going to be a continuing drama.
Going to be a 5th season. I found out it's going to be a 5th season, and this September is when they're going to have the Chosen Con. And like a lot of people that are fans of Marvel and DC Comics, and there's Comic-Con, there is Chosen Con. Like, everyone that is a fan of this show, it is a phenomenon, and they're so popular. They don't necessarily need studios, but they have studios. They have their own app. So this is a powerful show if you have not seen it. And here's the thing. If you have absolutely no belief in Jesus or anything like that, take it from me. The production quality of this is good. And, no diss to anybody that's of another race. I was just happy to see Jesus not look like everybody else in the past.
Right.
He looks regional to me. Yes, he looks regional.
That's called Jesus stepped up and said, that. So, so
Oh my God.
and
I'm
let it
just
be.
saying.
And he said, "This is the chosen one." Bam.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. But here's the thing. I'm looking forward to that. But here's the thing. I was trying to figure out why, because Chosen is huge. A lot of people watched that. It was in theaters. It was on YouTube. It's now going to be on the CW. That's amazing. But last year there was a huge strike. One of the biggest movies of the summer is coming out this weekend. Bad Boys. It's the
Yeah,
fourth
bad
one.
boy, bad boy. What you want to do?
Uh-huh. What
What
you
you
want to
want to
do?
do when they come for you? Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes out this coming Friday. Here's my question to you, and we've talked about this before. I think it's because there was a strike. It was just about the entire summer. The the actors and writers were on strike. And so I was thinking, why is this summer season so weak? And you reminded me, you said, Valerie, it's because of the writer's strike and the actor strike. And I said, oh, yes. But in between, I don't know how this Bad Boys 4 got made so quickly, but it did. And it's releasing this coming Friday. My question to you, sir, are you looking forward to seeing this? And have we forgiven Will for the slap? I need
Well,
to understand if that's gonna happen.
in the words of my boy Martin, break it down. Let it be broke. So here's what I like about what they've done, Val. And this is
Mhm.
one of those boomerang or curveballs that is tremendous. I call it great marketing technique.
Okay.
What time of the year is it right now? What are we watching on TV? Sports related.
We are watching basketball. That's what I'm
Bingo.
watching.
The NBA finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what has Bad Boys done? Have you seen the commercial that they've got?
I've seen a couple of their commercials, yeah, and
So
they've been yeah.
what's the funny commercial they got with the NBA player in it? Do you know who that is?
Is that Shaq? I forgot who. Who is it?
Not Shaq. It's Jimmy
Uh,
Butler in Miami.
oh,
And,
because
and,
the movie is shot in Miami. That's right. That's
right,
right.
he walks and knocks on the door. He's like, "Hey man, I'm ready to be a bad boy." And they're like, "No, not you, man." And so they got sacked him. So I think that is absolutely excellent. They've used basketball, the NBA finals, and they're using
Mhm.
the players because they're out of season. Jimmy's starting to pick up some commercial roles and things of that nature, and he's pretty funny with it. And now he's in a Bad Boy commercial, and I think it's a great selling point. It takes away from people asking about, is Martin okay, or am I going to support Will?
No.
One thing about us as people, we're funny. Something can happen major, and just give it a few weeks, give it a few months, and then it's kind of like bygone be bygone. And I think that the best thing that could happen for Will in his career is that this movie was put together prior to all that stuff that was going on. And they were just in the final production and wrapping things up and figuring out what day they was going to release it. So now I think that, whether you love him or hate him, he'll make a comeback. And I think the movie's going to be pretty good. I don't know. And I hate when they screw up sequels, but some movies are made for sequels, like Jason, right? Freddy Krueger.
Mhm.
You're like, I need another one. Freddy just dumped a person in the lake. I know we ain't going to stop right here. And he just drove off in the car. So all of a sudden, we got bad boys. You knew they were bad. You knew the criminals. Then all of a sudden, the next episode, Will finds out he has a son, right? And like normal, the mama trying to kill him. Sound like a black couple. So,
Oh my God.
so, so now we get through that situation, and Will didn't want to kill his own son in part two. So now I want to see what the extension is going to be in part three. Do they team up? Do they find out that he's got maybe another child? Who knows what's going on? But that is Mike Lowry. So we're going to see. And I think that they've done an excellent job, because you know what kills me sometimes? When movies try to make remixes or remakes, and they move it out of where we're used to being at, right? Cube did a great job. He kept all the Friday sequels in California, Southern Cal.
He sure did. He
They
sure
kept all
did.
the Bad Boys series in Miami, whereas in Coming to America, Eddie tried to use Africa and New York, but it just wasn't the same on part two. So these
Right.
guys have done a
Hmm.
great job for the first two, and I'm hoping that this part three, despite what happened with Will and Chris Rock, goes well.
Yeah, and like I said, I will say of the series, because now think about this, it's been going since 1995. The first one was released in 1995, the second one in 2003, the recent one in 2020, just before everything went south before the pandemic, and now this one, Bad Boys Ride or Die, because now they have things have changed where they are now going to be the outlaws, and they're going to be changing. What's been phenomenal has been whomever is working for Will, like for his PR, they are showing scenes from the film. They are showing just about all of the worldwide premieres that they've been on. I think recently the premiere that happened in Los Angeles, that was really huge. And of course, there was Tony Braxton, former people that had either sang for the soundtrack or they performed or they were in a Bad Boy film from before and now. And like I saw an interview with Big Boy, and Big Boy interviewed both Martin and Will about the film and just asked, how are you all feeling about this? But there had been a lot of questions about how Martin was looking with some of the premieres, and I feel like
Right.
it's 30 years later. Things are moving a little bit slower for everybody. Maybe not Will, but definitely it looks like it's moving a little bit slower for Martin. I don't think there's anything wrong, but people are reaching. There's been a couple of, chatter like, oh my goodness, something must be wrong. Does he have palsy? They're like projecting diseases on him. And I'm like, if he's not mentioned anything wrong, or if his PR people haven't mentioned anything, just leave it alone. I
That's
know
why
this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. That's why I loved Jamie Foxx when he said, "Stay out of my business." That's you know, they got mad at Jamie. You remember that? The world got pissed
Mm-hmm.
off because they could know that when he got up out of the hospital bed and went to the bathroom, man, that ain't your business. Stay out of my business, right? Stay out of my business. I'll let you know when it's time to let you know. And then, like you said, Martin picked up a little weight. Said everybody on the whole damn Martin show picked up weight. Come on now. I
Right.
mean, Tisha
Mm-hmm.
Arnold, she's still doing her thing with Said the Entertainer and still, again,
Mm-hmm.
staying active, staying what they're doing. And to go back to your point, I think that was an absolutely very, very strategic and very smart ploy. If you run the trailers and you get the ex-Hollywood people that I know and the movie stars that I know, singers and everyone else, NBA guys, and you get them talking about the movie, you get them looking at the trailer, then what I did several months ago becomes null and void because people are starting to get hyped with the movies. Then all of a sudden, the right kid watches it. Mom, Bad Boys is coming out. And the kid's gonna run the parents. So if the kid wanna go see it, the parents gonna take the kid to the show. Mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, but I'm curious to see how this film is going to go. The budget for this was 90 to 100 million. So, the rule in Hollywood, if you do
Three.
not make, if you don't make that money back within the first weekend or 10
Two.
days of the
Yep.
release, then it's considered a flop. So I will be keeping a sharp eye on this, because like I said, I am looking for the films for the summertime. I know they're here, maybe they're independent, and maybe they're like The Chosen, but
Right?
I look, we're talking about it. No
It's
one's
coming out
really
this
mentioned
weekend.
what's happening.
I'm
It's
a,
coming out
I'm
this
a,
weekend. Yeah.
I'm gonna project. I'm gonna
What are you
project
going to project? Mm-hmm.
137 million first weekend.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the reason why, and that's going to be considered success, is because they are catching people. Everyone in America is now finally out of school. Kids don't have to worry about going to classes and all of that. and they're going to release it on a great weekend. So it was a weekend with really nothing going on. It's a weekend before Father's Day weekend. You know, and people are going to want some things to do after Mother's Day, beginning of summer. And I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to open up in a theater with a lot of curiosity. And I think the movie's going to do about 100 and a quarter.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to unfortunately be the person on the other side going, I don't know if it's going to I don't know if it's going to make its money back. I will be happy if it does, but I feel it's going to skew between 80 and 100. It's not going to quite make it all the way past 100 million. Because I think, you know, there might be a lot of folks that are fatigued. This is not the second. This is not the third. This is the fourth. And keep in mind, there was almost a 20-year break between 2003 and 2020. So, but I will say that they did have this movie is the sequel to what came out in 2020, because they are going to continue to talk about the storyline of Mike Lowry, his son, Mike Lowry.
Again, Val, you just said they predicted Fast and Furious would do nothing. They had several flops in between, and they're on the 10th season, 11th, right? And then they came back, and after they had one or two flops, they came back and blew it out the water. Again, storyline, and it's action-packed. And what Bad Boys give you that a lot of people don't give you, is they give you dirty cops. And this time they flipped the script, and they are the dirty cops this time. It's about time. Right? It's about time. That's all I'm saying. So now they play bad, and if you're dirty cops, then you're the true name of the show, Bad Boys, because now you're walking that thin line between love and hate. You know, you're in a department, but on the other side, you hanging out with the criminals. So you eventually, when it comes to a head, you got to choose sides. And I think that this movie is going to figure out, and it's a possibility that Will may, with he being a more active one, and Martin's always played the at-home father guy in all the series. You know, they may split up, and you know, who knows? But I don't think that the series is going to give you anything bad. I think it's going to give you great action. I think you're still going to see things getting blown up, people still getting shot at, and I think that once again, the situation with him and his son is going to come out, and who knows? It may be a Bad Boy 5 because the son may take it over.
Right, exactly. So
now, you know, they did the same thing with House Party, and I hated the last House Party. Did the one with LeBron James, and I'm like, man, you're gonna say this. Somebody just put a steak on paper plates. You know they ain't gonna hold that up.
That's not gonna be a good thing. That's not gonna be a good thing.
You walk to the backyard at the grill talking about, let me get one of them steaks on this paper right here. And they put it on there, and it just fold up on you like that commercial when a lady comes up to a daughter and spill a whole food in a school project. Come on, man.
That's not a good look. That's never a good look. But like I said, this is one of the biggest films that's coming out, number one, this month. There's a couple of big ones that's coming out a little bit later in the summertime, but we'll let you guys know
this weekend, Val.
What happened. Who are they up against this weekend?
Yeah, who are they up against?
All right. Well, let's see who is coming out this weekend. Film releases for this weekend. And okay, so I'm gonna just put it up for June. This is June 7th.
Yep.
June 7th of this year. Let's see what's coming out. All right. Well, what else is coming out this weekend is a lot of stuff for kids. School of Magical Animals. It'll be a sequel for that. That's coming out.
On one zip. I won the first game, one zip.
All right. Coming out on Netflix, The Hitman. That's supposed to be coming out as well.
Yeah, I'm too good, but I can watch that at any time.
And then we have Life After Fighting. That's supposed to be coming out too. Okay, that's in 3-zip. And then of course we have Robot Dreams. That's only coming out in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. So there's nothing going on this weekend, as I just said. So the
Okay, you
people that
did.
are going to go to the show, you're either going to go see a old ass movie, right, from the last few weeks that you haven't seen, that it hadn't hit Netflix, or you may go decide to go check out The Chosen. Who knows? But if you're going to walk up in the theater, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna set you up. You're going to see Bad Boys. Get you a Ziploc. Either run down to Popeyes or Harold's Chicken, or you can get something and make it at home. Get you a Ziploc. Cook you some chicken wings. Put them in your bag. Take it in there. You got to probably sneak it in the show, but you're good to go. For those that like a little sip, get that in there too. But go to one of them movie theaters that everybody gonna tell the story. Hey man, that didn't happen
Oh,
in part two. And I'm telling you right now, there's nothing that is a big hit, or there's nothing that's a movie that everybody's expecting to come out this weekend that's going to compete with Bad Boys 4. And I think because of that, people are going to flock to the theaters to see the movie, and therefore they're going to pick up Just Do. They're going to take in at least 80 to 90% of the revenue this weekend.
okay. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Because I did. Here's the thing. I just did not realize there weren't a lot of films that were done last year. A lot of films that were being targeted to come out this summer because of the strike. And I'm referring to, big budget films. Now, there have been a lot of independent films that are coming out, and a lot of things going straight to streaming services, Amazon, as well as Paramount Plus, as well as Disney Plus, as well as Netflix. So the small screen is ruling in a lot of good entertainment choices. So, but I say this, I gotta go get caught up on The Chosen. There's 3 seasons I haven't seen. All 3 seasons I found out are now streaming on Amazon Prime, and the first season is on Netflix. So I'm going to recommend you learn about the Lord before you see
But you
Bill.
missed
I'm
one
sorry.
thing. Here's the only thing that here's the only thing that you done miss. Here's the only thing that you done miss that could possibly hold Will and Martin from having a good weekend.
Okay,
What?
and now Kevin just said that The Watchers from M Night Shyamalan debuts this week too.
And also, great, they can be used this week with Power. So,
Okay, so you have
so
that as
Friday
well.
night, maybe when, so if they don't make, if Power draws, if Fitty draws that crowd on Friday with the new season of Power coming out, then we may have a situation that Wilder may lose some paper Friday and have to make it up on Saturday. But if they don't, you're going to look at a nice return for these guys. And again, there's nothing that's there to compete with them. And for the majority, if you're watching Power, like the other movies you mentioned, I can always catch that on Sunday because I know for a fact that it's on, rerun for me. I'm probably recorded at home like most people.
Right, exactly, and you'll watch the other stream. But now it's time to get to the music. It's time to
Yeah,
get to the music.
into this
June
shit
is
WA.
Black Music Month. Woo!
And you know what? You know what's so good about this?
What?
Cruising down the street in my 6'4", jogging, smacking. Pull up, but hey, man, hey, we got to get up in there. Car
I
roll up, who
know.
can it be? We should have been dropping some nuggets right now.
Yeah, I know. Now here's the thing. I think I know the BET Music Awards is happening later on this month. I think I'm going to cover a different perspective of that versus the actual award show, because the people that get nominated, I don't really know. I get to learn who they are, and I talk to people that's younger than me, but my audience, we know and love you guys. We love you. And when we post about the BET Awards last year, Coach Tony, people were like, I don't know who that is. I don't like them. He's getting another award. Why? And so I'm thinking, you know what? it will be good to cover a different perspective of it. Juneteenth happens in this
My-
in the month of June,
And
Juneteenth as well.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try. Once again, I got a couple different folks I know getting here for a quick segment on here, even if they got to pop in for 15, 20, 30 minutes, pop in, pop out. That's the part of the music industry, music business, so we can hear a different perspective, maybe from like CEOs of companies or like artists or younger artists that's there. And then, I think the music month, Val, here's where the young folks go wrong at, I think. They
Okay.
sometimes go wrong because when you speak of music, and I was talking to my son about this, they gravitate to what they know best, which is hip hop. And
Okay.
not knowing that recently the hip hop guys and girls that have done very well are now remixing old tracks. I got guys that are literally told me, "Hey, coach, you DJ, man, do me a favor, man. Check out this track, man. Tell me who's the original." And I got some guys I know that really want to learn the music. So, and let me give you something. This is a little FYI if you didn't know. This
Okay.
company called the RPG, the Rubber
Okay.
Pressing Group. They're out of Nashville. This past year alone, vinyl was the number one seller of all stuff being purchased.
Ah,
Vinyl. And vinyl was making a comeback, they say, and predicted between now and the next 6 years, between now and 2030. It would be a major product again, which I'm loving life because I'm trying to get my entire old collection back of a lot of stuff. So the good thing about that is these young guys slash DJs and stuff of that nature that are coming up, the ones that are pushing buttons, as I call them, that shirt I got, the real DJ versus the push button DJ, these guys that are DJing really going to show their craft. They're going to have to learn how to spin vinyl because vinyl is going to take
yeah.
over. And I think the people that are doing parties are not going to want to see a person pushing a button. They're going to want to see somebody that's a true mixing artist. And it's going to be great because now you're going to be able to get a lot of remastered music, the Marvin Gaye's, the Teddy Pendergrasses of the world, the Confunctions of the world, cameos, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I can go down the list. Phil Collins, Sting. So you're going to hear a
Ooh.
lot of that stuff, and they're being pressed right now, and it's hilarious, Val, because the music is in such demand right now. They're talking about predicting over 150 to 200 $1 million. That's a lot of vinyl.
Wow. And vinyl, we thought vinyl went out with the making of cassettes and CDs, but
Yeah,
I
I knew
have
it.
to say I knew vinyl stood the test of time because people
Yep.
know that the best quality of music, the sound comes from the needle hitting the record. I don't know. There's something about that for me. I don't know about anybody else, but there's something about that for me. Just a little heads up that Black Music Month, I said National DJ Month is also in June as well. That happened in 2018, but back in 1979, it was made official by President Jimmy Carter. And I was always wondering why it was in June, but I feel like it's also shaking hands with the now, since 2022, the national holiday of Juneteenth.
Yeah,
All of this
exactly right.
is happening in June. Right,
And
right.
so you put
So
it all in the month. So if they gonna celebrate them, we already know. Let them get it out in 130 days. And you just said the key word or the key sentence right there, Val. If you weren't listening, Val just said it. It
mhm.
didn't have to do with them thinking that vinyl wasn't going to be around anymore. What you got to look at is, again, a DJ save your life, and you are that
Mhm.
DJ, right? They weren't making DJ equipment, Val, for CDs or cassettes like they were still putting out turntable tops. And
Right.
Technique and Pioneer never lost business because there's always been a club. And so the only thing that they did is they produced these smaller CDJs so that the turntables, which was very expensive, some of these turntables was the cost of one of those little small CDJs. So they figure, okay, I can plug and play. I can get multiple DJs in one particular one, where back in the day, if I know I have Farley Keith coming, or Julian John Perez, or Kenny Jam and Jason, or somebody, I knew they were coming in to do a set and get off that, and he was going to jump right onto the same turntables, and probably different type of magic was going to happen. Now
Right,
you got the
exactly.
DJ doing something different. So I love that we're celebrating Black Music Month in the month of June, leading up to Juneteenth, because on the celebration of our personal African American emancipation, they sang and they sang and they sang. So to see that in this month is great. We just have to make sure that you and I celebrate that music as well, and giving the people some of the things that they don't think about. Again, a lot of the young folks, Val, hip hop comes to mind. But then when you started
Mhm.
playing the oldies in the 70s and the early 80s, where the music came from, they're like, oh man, that's where Megan Thee Stallion got that beat from. Oh, that's what Drake is. So I want to make sure that you and I, we don't do anything else this 30 days. We get the people what they need.
Very much so, very much so. And I have to say that during this time, I'm always remarked and remembered by uh, this particular artist that, I was thinking, good gracious, why did this gentleman leave us a little bit too soon? And when I say too soon, I'm referring to his birthday is later on this month. I mean, actually later on this week. Do you happen to know who I could be talking about?
Man, you're talking about my mans to them.
That's not your man to him.
That's that's my mans to them. Again, when I get that book, I'm telling you that's one of my mans in there.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Prince Rogers Nelson, I have to say, one of the most talented musicians, singers, performers, 4 to 5 decades worth of great music. And in 2016, we lost him a day before my birthday, April 21st. That's how I'll never forget the day he passed, because I flew back home to Chicago and was celebrating, and found out about him, I think, from on the way home from the airport. And I'm like, what? I thought it
Wow.
was, they're always trying to kill our artists. Like, oh, this person's
Yeah,
died, and you're like, they did, and then come to find out they're on Twitter. And I was just kind of half hoping that this was not true when he passed away. But here's
I
the
wish
here's
you
the
would have put
question.
up that real picture, and that
What's the
was
real
that
picture?
picture of that first album, Roger Nelson with Dirty Minds. That album.
That's
That's
not the
that's
first album.
no,
That's
no,
not
no,
the
no. I
first
know that
album.
the first album was Roger Nelson, but I'm just saying, that Dirty Minds album, that
Okay.
was that was a breakthrough album. No one really was on Roger Nelson. He was a great artist. He was coming, but when he dropped Dirty Minds, his entire career changed. And by the way, Val, you could tell some of these guys as well. For some of you
Mhm.
that don't know, who get the
Okay.
opportunity to get into Chicago, only the best city in America, obviously, no pun intended, get downtown on Michigan Avenue. We have, I think right now outside of Minnesota, the only Prince Roger Nelson exhibit downtown
Mhm.
Chicago. So if you
There
haven't
you
seen,
go.
you need to go. It is absolutely phenomenal. And one thing about this young man that I didn't know until I looked at this thing, and that is when Prince came out, I think his first album was 71 or 72, I think it was. Do
No,
you know that
78, 78.
78?
I'm
Do you
actually,
know when
I'm bringing up the
he
cover right now.
okay, when he came out, the museum shows he was the only artist. I want y'all to hear this. He was the only artist, not Michael Jackson, not Roger Nelson, not Rick James, not even George Clinton, not even Phil Collins, thing done it. But this guy right there, Prince Roger Nelson, was the only artist up until his death that had released an album every single year.
Ooh.
since his first album. He never had a year that album wasn't released, whether you heard it or not. And it's the entire decades of music is on the wall there in Chicago. So if you haven't seen it, trust me, put it on your to done list if you get to Chicago.
Now, this was the cover of his first album, Prince.
Yep.
I think it's the first or the second album. I think this is because this is I wanna be your lover. This is on this one.
Yeah, that's your boom, 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 boom. I'll be your sister too.
But of course, the Controversy album is
That
the
was my
fun one for
album.
me.
Like you never done before. Uh-oh. Hey, and then he dropped that. He dropped that Controversy. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Hey, man, let me tell
Am
you
I
something.
black or white? Am I straight or gay?
I'm
I
black
don't
or
know,
white.
Prince. We didn't
I'm
know.
straight or gay.
We don't know.
Controversy. There you go. Hey, but he's up, man. I'm telling you, Val, this guy right here, that guy right there, changed the face of me as a DJ or a up and coming or wannabe DJ in the early 80s. And that album, this album, did it. And the track that did it for me wasn't
Which one?
Controversy. Wasn't that?
Which
You know
one
what
was
mine was?
Which
Oh,
one was that?
boom, doom, doom. Man, I'm telling you, doom, 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 doom. That when he dropped "Let's Work," you can forget. That was the track
Oh,
for me. And when I
okay.
got a chance at that time, back in the blue light basement lights, especially when you was clothes burning, when they put that "Do Me Baby" on, oh my goodness,
Oh my goodness.
you already knew. Hey,
I know.
if you went to a basement party back there and they ain't played "Do Me Baby," you went to school the next day and said a party, man, that party wasn't nothing, man.
I just know that Prince there was a lot of screaming in a lot of the Prince records. So I was just kind of wondering, like, what are you screaming about? Like, why are you so excited like that? Like, what's going on with you?
Hey, he made Apollonia turn around, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. Now I want to personally thank Kevin for reminding us of this, because we're not just gonna just lay on Prince or stay on Prince or whatever. But like I said, one of the most talented musicians ever, played a lot of his own instruments when he first started out. His birthday is coming up, but also a birthday this week. I didn't realize it till I saw it in the chat. Tupac. I totally forgot that his birthday was this week. I totally forgot about that.
Hey, and if you're gonna put on some pot, then you're gonna have to drop this. Like, see how quick I dropped that? see how quick I pulled it up? See how I pulled it up? Because if you're gonna talk about some pot, then you're gonna have to have all eyes on me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't go all out, for those that are good Tupac fans, that really, remember Brenda Got a Baby, then we're gonna drop some of that original album on Pac like that. That's how we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So again, Val, get your vinyl up. Get your vinyl collection up. Get it up. Come talk to me, get it up. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit down with me talking music if you ain't got your vinyl up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wait. Let me see if I can still do this. Let me stop sharing real quick. Let me see if I can do this real quick for the first rap. What was the name of the first rap that Tupac ever did?
The first rap that he ever did, he was with my boys with Digital Underground. That's the rap he came out with. So that was the first one.
Okay. Now I clown around when I hang around with the underground. Girls used to frown, say I'm down when I come around. Gas me when they pass me. They used to diss me, harass me, and now they gas me. Ask me if they could kiss me. Get some fame. People change. Want to live their life high. Same song. Can't go wrong. If I play the nice guy, I can't believe I still remember that.
Man, let me tell you something. This is why you on my show, and I'm gonna produce you because they know you had spit like that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna, you check in us this month. We're gonna clown around when we get around like the underground. You know what I'm saying? We coming out like this, cause and again, this young man right there changed the game in hip hop. You know,
Mhm.
every album, this young man comes from a situation like Prince, so to speak. The
Mhm.
thing that people didn't realize about Prince was that he was a basketball player on his way to University of Minnesota to play ball and
No,
decided,
I
yes,
know.
you didn't know that.
I
He was
didn't.
he was, and that's why Charlie Murphy and your boy Dave Chappelle did the Prince skit, right? And Prince,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
And then he would
walked
make
to the
them
house
pancakes.
and he killed them in the pumps, you know. Hey, that'd be two, Charlie Murphy. That's two. That's you guys. That's your team. So, you know, and then when Pac came out, you know,
Mhm.
at that time, I can speak to that greatly because that brought me through the yard. It was at a
Mm.
time that NWA had made a move off the West Coast because East Coast was killing the country. I was a big, huge East Coast. Obviously, KRS One, my philosophy, dropping science. Then, of course, here come Eric B and Rock Him. When he spit, you know, the R, it was a rap. So now East Coast had to say we were the king of the world, so to speak. And then here comes NWA. But people thought NWA, bam, F the police, and these boys jumped into the game because East Coast was killing. No, Houston really jumped into the game because they saw what the East Coast was talking about, and they were like, well, wait a
Mhm.
minute. We're in South Central Los Angeles. We out here with Rodney King just got beat up. We out here with this crooked police department. Let's tell our story. And oh, by the way, nobody in the country was doing drive-by shootings except the boys from LA. So they started talking about that on wax. If you understand what I'm saying, then you listen to my summer vacation by Ice Cube. I'm gonna tell you again, listen to my summer vacation by Ice Cube. And he breaks that down. And then all of a
Okay.
sudden, the underground comes about, digital is sitting there, they're doing their thing. Here come Pac. Now they wasn't even gonna put Pac on. Pac basically had to threaten him that he was going, you know, he told Sir Nose, I'm gone. You can't do it. I'm gonna do everything on my own. And then when they let him get on that track that you just spit, it
Yeah.
was a wrap. He was destined to be by himself. And I truly think today, Val, if
Mhm.
Pac was still with us, he'd be long gone out the music, and his movie career would be like a LL Cool J, what he's done with drama, TV. I think Pac
There's
would
a
have had about a 15, 20-year movie career running right now. He was already dibbling and dabbling that with poetic justice and a couple of things he was doing. And I think he was on his way to he would have definitely been a character in 50 Cent's Power series, most definitely.
Yeah, oh, definitely. No, most definitely. And I have to say this with knowing that he was an excellent actor. And a lot of people, there's a interview that he did regarding Gritlock. That was I think one of the last films that he appeared in. And
Yeah,
so he mentioned he was interviewed in 96 for it. And he says, yeah, I really have there's a lot of sides to me that people don't know. And he says a lot of times I want to be quiet and I'm observing, but then there are those times when I'm a lot of fun and I'm bursts of energy. But he says I'm both of those people where I'm not always like wow all over the place, and then
right.
I'm pulled in and I'm pulled back. And so he said that he wants to go more into movies, and she's the interview asked, would you like to do, romantic movies or something? He said, of course. It's ironic, Poetic Justice, as much as by John Singleton, that was kind of a romance slash other things that were happening in it. But here's the thing, he had accomplished so much at his young age, and
Yep.
we were both born in the same year, so he would have been in his 50s now, and I would have loved to have seen what he would have been doing now. But the music introduced us to Tupac, but I think what would have kept him alive and kept him going was acting. Because you talk to Ice-T, you talk to LL Cool J, you talk to Queen Latifah, you talk to any rap artist that has diversified their world outside of music, they are in acting. How long has T been acting on Law and Order? 20 years.
Now he's got the
That's a
longest
long.
running show, and this album is the album that Val's talking about. So if you ain't
What
up on
album
it,
is?
this underground, that's where it's at. But Ice
Yeah,
T just
exactly.
talked about
Mhm.
the other day. He's on the longest running show ever. And for people that don't remember Ice T, if it wasn't for Ice T changing 6 in the morning, police at my door. Man, I can't even spit the rest. And and then the funny part about it is when Pac, we're gonna go back a little bit more on his music because they until Eminem came up again, these guys hit coldest white boys that ever hit the yard in the Beastie Boys.
Oh, Beastie
You end up
Boys.
on the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Which album
License
is
to
this?
Ill.
What album is that?
That's the original album, License to Ill.
Oh, I
That's
remember
this
that.
is an
Oh,
$85 album. License to Ill.
yeah.
And this one
And
had Paul Revere on it, right? There's a brass monkey, that funky monkeys. Yeah. So one thing about these guys, I'm gonna tell you something that you may or may not know. The
okay.
Beastie Boys, before Paul passed away,
Hmm.
the Beastie Boys had the longest running concert series, highest paid rap band group of all times. I'm gonna repeat myself. Pull it up. The Beastie Boys, revenue generating, had the longest run of any rap group, not single person like an Eminem, but as a group. They had the longest running rap group of any time up until Paul passed away, and they kind of pulled away from it. The Beasties were worldwide: Berlin, Germany, London, England, Paris, you name it, Australia. These boys had a heck of a run, and that when you talk to these young artists and these DJs, a lot of times, especially the young guys, I just want to know from them, break it down and let it be broke. Give me the background of the music you come to. I get it, you got into the game doing T.I. or you got into the game doing Luda and all that, but give me some, break the music down history because as you listen to these guys, you go to see that the trombone came from a Donald Byrd album, right? That they don't know about. This came from a different album. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that. And then when all that started to settle down and Pactum came about, and of course, we lost Pac, then of course, the biggest album on the yard dropped out right here, that Biggie Papa and that Ready to Die. All right.
oh,
And that was when
wow.
I was telling you about when Craig Mack dropped that album that Puffy didn't want to get out. The reason why that Craig Mack and Biggie album was so good is that Puffy had a situation going on with Craig Mack. He didn't think he was handsome enough or whatever. But Biggie said, if you don't bring my boy Craig Mack on, you can forget it. I'm not even going to drop an album for you. So Puffy being Puffy, asked around, checked a few things out. Of course, he was actually a young Howard grad at that time or dropout. And he said, boom, the best clever marketing of anybody in a young rap career to get started. He thought about, we're going to call it the Big Mac. He had Biggie Papa on one side, Craig Mack on the other. I got that CD. And it was a
Okay.
one-time print on. So you got to go do your history on some of this music, girl. Tell them to come on and come to me and talk. You better be vinyl up. That's all I'm saying.
And I think we lost Craig Mack. When did we lose Craig
Yeah,
Mack? In
we did. It was great.
2021?
Yeah, right
Yeah,
at the pandemic. Yes.
right. And so that was very sad to hear about him. And I still say the original Flavor in Your Ear, that particular song was one of my favorites. Now, I used to love the remix, but things have come to light. I know about the song, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like that no more. So I
Right.
don't know. That's
Again,
where I'm at with that.
and again, Val, me and you just talked about this the other day, and I get some of the guys, older guys that talk, well, younger guys that's in the new stuff. I play some of the old stuff for them, and the first thing they say is, man, that was whack, man, that was back in them nursery rhymes, dude, nursery rhymes. If it wasn't for those, as you say, nursery rhymes, then this catch a cat, kill a dog, y'all wouldn't be able to say that on the records. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
if Ice Cube and Dre and them boys weren't getting thrown out of stadiums, weren't getting arrested. Matter of fact, I tell the guys all the time, name me one of these young artists. Anybody can put it in the chat line for me. Name me one of these young artists has been followed or became world news by the FBI and the CIA. You can't give me one. I can give you several. If you hadn't listened to Snoop Dogg's Murder Was the Case that they gave me, listen to what he's talking about. And speaking of that, Val, what was Snoop Dogg's very first record he made? I give you a hint.
Oh, well, that was from a movie.
Which was?
I Can Feel It. Tonight's tonight. I get in some stuff.
Tonight's
deep cover
tonight.
On the incognito stuff. Okay, yeah. So that's deep cover. Deep cover.
Bingo,
deep cover.
I said you just said deep cover. Right.
I had to think about that for a second. Yeah.
If you listening to Deep Cover, the first track, and this is at the time that Warren G brings Snoop into the loop of everything, and then Dre didn't want him, and then my boy, who was back and forth from the side to LA, and Nate Dogg, Nate was my boy, you know, that whole clique and that whole crew. Once Snoop started spitting, and Dre was like, damn, okay, Warren G. You know, it's the old saying that I tell some of my basketball players, Val. If you good, but you know your boy is better, don't bring your boy to the house. Because I may let your homeboy play on my basketball team and cut you. So, and that's what Dre basically did to Warren G. He like, man, your boy Snoop ridiculous, but you know, I know you my brother, but you got to figure it out. And of course, I was glad to, because the night that Nate left and he got out and got connected, he was going out, you know, he's back and forth from the West Coast to Chicago and stuff like that. And all of a sudden he pops up and boom, you know, he drops that, you know, that Regulate with Warren G. It was a wrap. And that's when music moved to the West Coast. When that happened, music moved west.
And this picture here, I wanted to make sure, and as we wrap up our chit chat about Black Music Month, this performance on Super Bowl 2022, this was Dr. Dre gathering some of the best, Eminem, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, and then Snoop. This won an Emmy.
And Mary, don't forget Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary J. Blige. So sorry. the only girl there. I'm so sorry. And this was the thing. This I think Power Book 2 had already started. So I was thinking, wow. So you got the two of them working on the show Power Book 2, and then she's like the nemesis or the bad person on one of 50's shows. But they all come together. They did such a great performance. And like I said, this performance for Super Bowl
13 minutes.
won an Emmy, and that's huge. So when people say this is one of my top 5 performances of Super Bowl, this one and now in my mind comes up because of how all of these come together. And someone said, "Oh, Miss," they said, that performance was fire. Yes, it was, because I find myself watching it. People didn't know about Kendrick Lamar, and they found out about Kendrick that night. If they didn't know about him, they found out about him that night.
But you got to add something to that, Val, right? So we're coming up on Season 2 of Power. Mary hadn't even joined the show yet, and 50 was hot on Empire. So Empire was rolling at that particular time. So you got that happening. And then Mary slides in the door with Power and just take it to the next level. And then it was right out of the introduction of Kendrick Lamar, right after he had just finished his other debut album. So he was hot. And that was right before he then came back with a second track where, This Is America. And he killed him.
And now here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar is one of the few artists that has won a Nobel Peace Prize for the album Damn. I didn't know that. So this is like Black Music Month little gems if you didn't know. And then Ole Miss says, brought back memories. My daughter had no idea why I was so excited.
Hey, Ole Miss 2 First of all, thank you for jumping on, because I appreciate you hanging out with me last night on the Pull Up Podcast show with my man Jared Stillman, and love the questions you dropped last night. A lot of nuggets. And again, I told Val I was more excited for this month in June because I'm a hip hop connoisseur, and I was more that, and I'm an old school guy, and I'm not going to drop all my nuggets because every week we're going to drop some different knowledge of different artists as they come through and bring you some things. But I told her I really wanted to shine a light because I go crazy when these kids start talking about, oh man, such and such, this is new. I do my son like that all the time. I do my assistant coach like that all the time. And like Tupac's biggest cut, don 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 don. They know that's Bruce Hornsby in the Rain. They're like, who is that? Then I put the
who's
song.
Bruce Hornsby? I don't know who that is.
Yeah. They put, I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna make you cry. That was Rick Astley. We just here
You
to
better
this.
sing. You
Come
better
on. So
sing.
you gotta look at that and you gotta understand. If you're gonna play the music and you're gonna be in the 2024 and you dropping these new artists, don't come to me and tell me they got an original track unless you know this is an original track. Because when I bring the original track to you, like make my funk the P-funk, because I want to get funked up. Right? You want the funk. You don't know that's that old 1973, 74 Parliament Funkadelic. And who made it live? Snoop Dogg. Snoop. And that's why Snoop has kept George Clinton and these guys live. So I can't wait for this month, Val. I'm excited.
And here's the thing is that a lot of people get upset thinking about, oh my gosh, you guys are sampling music and that some music should be left alone. However, it could be beneficial to the artist that's being sampled.
Sure.
For Uncle Charlie,
yes,
who has had a resurgence because of Snoop.
Like Ron Isley.
Ron Isley. Resurgence. Now, I'm not going to mention who resurged him, but a resurgence. This is Mr. Biggs. I'm sorry.
What the hell is going on?
What do you mean is going wrong? Careless telling me that you're sleeping with another one.
Right. What you mean I'm sleeping with? Hey,
man, Rob.
The resurgence. And I like how you put down there the resurgence instead of the remix, right?
No, it's a resurgence because the artists make their money from concerts. And right now, 80 years old or 80 years young, Ron Isley and his one brother, they say the Isley brothers, they are going to be performing in Detroit this month.
Correct.
They're still rolling.
So it's the Temptations, even though they've got a couple of members already passed. So again, Val, it goes back to these young guys, these new artists. If you, I had an argument with a guy the other day. I said, okay, you want to drop your record? I'm cool with that, Drake. Put together a band and do the same song, right? Let me hear the horn play. Let me hear the bongo. Let me hear that talent. Then you can get on and spit all day you want. But when you sit in the studio to make these tracks, and don't get me wrong, I love it because music has got to grow, and it grows with technology. But don't tell me you got an original track when these guys came and sit down with this music in the 70s and 80s, and you got some artists that want to steal the music but not want to pay for it. Come on, man, we don't do that. That's why a lot of this stuff, a lot of these, we just had a big lawsuit against, I think, I forgot who it was. Was it Teddy Pendergrass? I think it was. Somebody took one of his songs, don't.
Right.
You got, back in the days when, you got to look at that. Those are those songs that you have to know, and the young artists are getting paid on it. And the families now are having to go to court. And I'm saying, this is why Snoop Dogg, this is why LL Cool J still making tracks, right? This is why some of the old artists trade, because they pay homage and they pay the artists, Val. They keep them relevant. They keep these old guys relevant. This is why they hang out with them, and they're privileged to give them music because of that.
Exactly. And look at the chat. I want you to check out the chat and see what our friend Mark said.
Said people in the young generation have forgot that The Last Poets, and Jill Scott Heron, even John Coltrane, and who was that? Mingus. Oh, have influenced hip hop very well. Exactly. And the funny part about that, Mark, is that what's coming back right now, Val? What's on his way back besides vinyl?
A vinyl's coming back.
And what else is coming back?
That's a very good question. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say a certain type of music is coming back.
I'm saying in general that one with that era.
Okay, well, what with the era of vinyl, I would say roller skating.
Nope. Is right now the resurgence is with the vinyl is blowfly afros, jerry curl, and bell bottoms. And the jerry curl, the jerry curl, the jerry curl that changed his name. I forgot. I was just reading the other day. Somebody was talking about it, and I said, "No, y'all gotta be kidding me." And I looked it up, and the jerry curl is on his way back. It's got a new name. I want to say it's called Susie something, but the jerry curl is on his way back.
No. I reject that.
I'm just telling you, Val. And if you were a vinyl person, that was around during that time. And the bell bottoms are coming back because they're in women's jeans now. I see a lot of women walking around with the bell bottom, flare leg bottom with flat top, flat fronts. So, everything comes back in a circle. So when I'm listening to ABC News today, or I'm sorry, CBS News today, when they said that vinyl is projected to make in the hundreds of millions of dollars in the next 4 or 5 years, that tells me that the next movement is back to new DJ equipment, because now they're about to come back to turntable DJ equipment, and you're about to see a resurgence of that. So again,
that would be fun. That would be fun to see that. And of course, Mark continues to say, even in the 60s, Tito Puentes and others have influenced hip hop and all of its styles of music. And he said even 8-tracks are even coming back. I don't know if 8-tracks are coming back, but we'll see.
Hey, your boy, and I give you one, Mark, on that side of the house. Your boy Santana. If you ain't a Santana,
remember them? Yeah.
Come on. If you didn't love Santana, Santana's music is everything that Rihanna and a couple other ones that say. They love that. So again, I always
do not have platform shoes in my closet, Mark. I do not have platform shoes in my closet. Shut your trap. No.
Hey, Mark, I think she may have a pair. I think, Edmund, but I ain't seen it, but you ain't hear it from me.
Wait a minute. Question is, do they have fish in them? Mark.
Right.
No.
Hey, yeah, Mark. She got the one that got the goldfish in the heel.
Oh no, I do not. I am not about that life. How are you going to
Hey, with the big fly collar with the Pam Griff fro, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, Coach? Lots of fun been happening on your show, the Pull Up Podcast with the Coach Tony Thompson. But of course, we are now in the NBA Finals. And just briefly, I just want you to let us know what you think. Who gonna take it all the way? Who's your prediction?
Again, real quick, thank you guys for liking, subscribing, and more important, sharing the Pull Up Podcast show with your boy, the one and only Coach Tony, on Monday nights, 8:00 p.m., where we talk quarter by quarter at a time on the information that's out there in the sports industry. And last night, we brought my guy on, Nashville's #1 sports radio talk show host, Jerry Stillman. And I'm going to tell you guys, today I got an opportunity to kick back with him on his show in the afternoon drive in Nashville. And they were talking about the Pull Up Podcast show with the Tennessee Titans stuff. So I felt real good. That lets me know that I got eyes and ears on my show, and we're starting to take off. So if you have not logged in to Monday night to the Pull Up Podcast show, don't meet me there, man. Beat me there. You know what I mean? Beat me there, and you get this valuable information. And that valuable information is, as Val just asked, for promotional purposes only. We are in the NBA Finals right now. And as much as I love what Luka and what Kyrie Irving is doing in Dallas, I think with Lively getting hit in the back of the head 2 times, possible concussion protocol. We don't know how available he's going to be for this series. I think that with Boston, we get Porzingis back to the court, and Al Horford doesn't have to give us 40 minutes. The old man's leg is hurting, so we can bring him down to around 15 to 20. And I think that because of the size and quickness with Boston, and you got my boy Drew Holiday at the point running, I think you're going to see a great series. I give Luka probably averaging about 30. I think he and Jason Tatum are going to go at each other. They're going to both average a little over 30, 31. The difference maker is Kyrie cannot stop Jaylen Brown. I don't think that Dallas has anyone at his height that can shut Jaylen Brown down from scoring. And it's hard when you got 2 6'8", 6'9" guys that can handle the ball and put it in the basket the way they've been doing. So I have Boston, Val, giving Jason Tatum and my boy Jay Brown, giving them their first ring as a duel in Boston in Baked Bean Town, in Beantown, as we say. And I think Boston wins over Dallas in 6. Boston in 6.
That's your Boston in 6. Okay. All right. That's interesting. We'll figure it out. Ole Miss disagrees with you.
Ole Miss 26 said the Mavs will win. Okay. Well, we may have to put a stake on that or something.
Yeah, and this is Mark. He says Dallas is winning NBA and Florida is taking the NHL, which is National Hockey League.
No, so Mark, me and you, see, if you answer your phone and hit me back for promotional purposes only, me and you could do something because we both opposite. Because Edmonton Oilers is definitely winning the hockey, and Boston is winning that. So me and you need to talk, man. We need to see eye to eye up in here.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. But yeah, so that is what's happening regarding the NBA Finals. So guys, make sure you check it out. It's you say it's in 6. I think it's going to go all 7 games. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be Boston, but like I said, I don't have a pony in the race. I'm just going to be rooting for a great game. The NBA Finals.
This is my last pony. I gave you guys this early season, and I had given you Boston, and I gave you Denver. And I gave you Boston 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm sticking with him. This is the new agent. I know Gilbert Arenas was agent 0, but Jason Tatum is he's agent 0 square, if that's the case.
Okay. There you go. Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, that is what's happening regarding sports. But like I said, if you want to make sure to check things out, every Monday night is the Pull Up Podcast Show with your boy here, Coach Tony Thompson. And thank you so very much. Did you see this in the chat? Airs next day on Pod TV. Mark, we appreciate your love and support. And like I said, we appreciate all that as well. Oh my gosh, this has been another fun time talking about Black Music Month as well. A DJ saved my life. It's also National DJ Month here in June. And of course, it's going to be phenomenal when I get the word. As soon as this book hits, I will be screaming it to the rooftops. Please check it out. And I thank all of you who have purchased your early ebook copy. What's holding up the Soul Train line is that we're trying to make sure it turns out like this, like a printed book. So that's what we're going to be doing. And of course, our Interlude section presents Find Your Voice on patreon.com/interludes. Man, oh man, this has been fun. Talk on Tuesdays, another wrap of a week. And we'll be back with you guys on next Tuesday. OMG. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for that, for Mr. Springer. Oh my goodness. Well, Coach, we're going to do this again next week. And we're hoping to have a few great surprises coming up on next week. So guys, stay tuned.
Hey, all month long is music all month long, and it's going to be different genres. We're going to bring you different genres of what's going on. Just to give you got to get the people what they need.
Got to get the people what they want.
Get what they want.
And I tell you guys, we'll see you guys very soon. Right now, peace.